Well, let's shift our focus from the East Coast over to the East Coast. From Keeneland, we are going to stay with the ladies, Alexa, and that's what's so cool about this weekend. We'll be at Keeneland for a couple races, then we'll be over at Aqueduct for a couple races for the boys trying to get their points, and then for the gals and the Gazelle. Then we'll go out west to Santa Anita, same thing over there. So we'll be bouncing all around the country, and we'll go to the Gazelle right now because this is race number 9 on Saturday at Aqueduct. This is the one for the Kentucky Oaks fillies trying to get points qualified over on the East Coast. Following this, David Aragona will help you out talking about the Wood Memorial. So in this group, I do want to mention that to the outside, Liam in the Dust is cross-entered in this race and in race this weekend over at Keeneland. So not exactly sure at this time when we're recording where Liam will run, but just wanted to mention that. As we meet the field, it's a $200,000 purse. They'll travel 1 mile and an eighth in here over at Aqueduct, Alexa, in the Grade 3 Gazelle. Late night call will kick off the field here. Now, she did face the boys a couple starts back, so I always like mentioning when you have gals facing the boys and they probably face a little bit tougher, but her overall body of work has been at tracks that aren't quite the top tier at Laurel and at Parks. So I think just from that perspective, I need to see one from her against this tougher group to see really where she stacks up, competitively against a group like this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, she did wire the field in a 6-horse field at a much easier level. So I think the fact that there's not a lot of early speed in here is probably the only case I could make for her in this race.
Yeah, I agree, because there really isn't that much early speed. So that's a great point. Maybe if you're looking for a long shot or a horse who could hang on for a slice at a big price, it could be late night call. Ballerina Dioro, what concerns me about the number 2, Alexa, is her running style in this race, because she's not very fast early on. She's a horse who drops back. She makes one late run. She needs them to go pretty fast early and set it up for her.
Yeah, I actually like Ballerina Dioro. I mean, that was her first race where she closed from the back of the pack in the Demoiselle, and now had this long layoff. And I think second off the layoff is a really playable angle in here for a filly who should improve, for a trainer who really excels in graded stakes races with 24% win rate. So I think you'll get some good odds. And I like her. And so does Time From US.
I feel like she's the one they'll all have to hold off in here. The number 3, Vanilla Sunday, on the opposite end of the spectrum. Thank you. I just went to Handles last night, had one with some caramel, the chocolate chunks in it. Yes, please. And what's nice about her, she is one of those horses who has early speed, and there aren't very many in here, so she could probably take things a long way, Alexa.
Yeah, I mean, she's trying graded stakes for the first time after winning for the first time last out with a 16-length victory over second place. I mean, she really, really, really got away that day. This race is a little longer in distance and tougher, but considering, like we said, there's not a ton of contentious pace, I think she really makes sense in here. She's got really strong connections with owner Rapoli and trainer Pletcher. So this is my top pick.
I'm going to be very high on Vanilla Sunday as well. Early on, can sit off the pace a little bit. She was the runner-up in the Virginia Oaks. I like that she's moving forward, but this does feel like a tougher group than what she's faced.
Yeah, she has 25 points on the Oaks leaderboard, so she's coming back on somewhat of a short rest to try to seal the deal. She needs 4th or better to punch her ticket to Louisville. I think it's a tough race for her to win, but I do think she could pick up the points she needs to, get the objective and get the points.
Deloraine comes into this race off of a 3rd place finish when she was on the grass in her last start. She feels like a horse who's kind of one of the deeper closers. Like, she'll probably be dropping back. She'll hope they go quick early, and she'll try to pick them up late. How do you think she fits with this group?
Her best performances and only wins have been on the turf and synthetic, but her pedigree does suggest that dirt should be the preferred surface. So an interesting possible play in here. I know Time From US has her kind of tied there for second place.
Diraya is the next one up. The lone win came at Indiana Grand in a race that was taken off the turf. So I have a tough kind of sense of where she would stack up with a group like this. What do you do with the 6?
Yeah, I just think, she turned up empty last out, lost by 30 lengths in a 6-horse field without a ton of excuse, and the workouts are so slow coming into this. I'm passing.
The number 7 is obviously named for my co-host here, Alexa, Pure Beauty, who comes in off a good third place finish last time out behind Anna's Promise, who came back to run second in the Gulfstream Park Oaks. What do we do with the 7 here?
I think she makes sense in here. You know, first time against Stakes Company, but I like the improving form, and I think you can include her. We don't know the odds yet, but I'm hoping we'll get some kind of value on her.
And then rounding out the field, it's Liam in the Dust. I do think she has a chance for a little bit of a bounce back because last year she ran some pretty good races and she kept good company. Do you give her a chance in this spot?
I'm not. To me, she's just a really wishy-washy horse. Like, she'll have a decent race and then a terrible clunker and a decent race and a clunker. So I don't love seeing that against a tough field.
Alexa's going to use the 3 on top, Vanilla Sunday. I'll have Vanilla Sunday in the second spot. We both think that the 2 and 3 kind of the horses to beat in here, but don't go anywhere. When we return, we'll move from the fillies to the boys and we'll talk Wood Memorial.